for you and Mrs. Barrington.
Thank you, Walker.
Did you hear that? Mrs. Barrington.
Disturbed for any reason.
Universal front lot. Our show is filmed on stage 12. It happens to be the largest soundstage on the Universal lot. Take a look.
The production of the hit series CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, starring Ted Danson and Georgia Fox. Now, Stage 25 has been home to some hilarious hit comedies as well, like Liar Liar with Jim Carrey and The Nutty Professor starring Eddie Murphy. 23 and 22 are where they actually build the CSI sets, folks, but back in the day, those two stages doubled as Chicago in the 1973 Academy Award-winning film The Sting, starring Paul Newman and Robert Redford. Over the years, we've taken audiences from the bottom of the ocean to the surface of the moon, and we did so with the help of Stage 27 over here on your left. That's where we built Mission Control for Ron Howard's Apollo 13. These days, 27 is home to the Mindy Project. And that brings us back to television. Ever since our first broadcast at the 1939 New York World's Fair, we've been producing outstanding network television. Paul Walker. And looks like we got some minions out there too. Those cute little guys are compliments of Chris Meledandri at the staff at Illumination Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Chris Meledandri, the founder of Illumination Entertainment. Our animation company has brought you films like Despicable Me and The Lorax. That sounds amazing! At Illumination, we make it our mission to tell stories that take you to new worlds and introduce you to characters you'll fall in love with. Again and again. We're thrilled to bring you Minions next summer, and then 2 totally original films in 2016, including The Secret Life of Pets. Awesome! At Illumination, we strive to work with extraordinary artists whose talents bring our films to amazing new heights, like Steve Carell and Pharrell Williams, whose song Happy has become the anthem of Despicable Me. Have a great day at the park.
So where do all these movies and television? It used to be the office of the legendary director Alfred Hitchcock. Has his profile painted next to the front door. Hitchcock was known as the master of suspense, but he was also the king of cameos. Hitchcock started appearing in the background of his own films in the 1920s. When he didn't have the budget for extras, he would hop out of the director's chair and do a couple of crosses for the camera. After that, it became his signature.
My name is Alfred Hitchcock.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You should have seen the blood.
All right, we've crossed into the back lot now. We shoot the big stuff out here, exterior scenes on a grand scale. Now, movies are based on illusions. And these metropolitan sets are a great example of just that, because they may appear to be built out of brick and stone, but they're actually made out of foam rubber and fiberglass over metal and wood frames. We call these sets facades, which is a French word that means false front. And they're merely the fronts and sides of buildings. They're built that way because, well, because we only bother building what the camera can see. And we reuse them over and over again. Over here on your right is Brownstone Street. That was home to Jim Carrey and Bruce Almighty.
Race the dogs!
I'm in the shower!
Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good. Well, you're done now. Great.
And I'm sure many of you are going to recognize the area we're turning into now. I'd like to welcome you all to Courthouse Square, otherwise known as Hill Valley, from Back to the Future, starring Michael J. Fox. The City Hall facade over here on your left is the clock tower from Back to the Future. It just no longer has the clock on it. Now, making a movie like Back to the Future is a lot of fun, but it's also 12 to 16-hour days, so sometimes to break up the monotony of life on the set, the cast and crew would engage in hijinks and practical jokes, like the time the crew put whiskey in a bottle Michael J. Fox thought would have water in it. All right, we're turning down New York Street now. This one comes complete with its own Park Terrace Hotel, its own theater district, and its own Macy's. But we can't go to New York without somebody who knows the town to show us around, so once again, here's Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. I once got mugged over there by an old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Hey, it's cool guys. I was just, just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Now shot on this street, superhero epics like The Amazing Spider-Man, starring Andrew Garfield, and Captain America, the First Avenger, with Chris Evans and Tommy Lee Jones. Also blockbusters like Michael Bay's Transformers, Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, and Peter Jackson's King Kong.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And so I was thrilled when Universal invited me back. It's great to have real live. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. Ladies and gentlemen, if you dare,
With a project like the Studio Tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, you always know what the script, the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this, a lot of one giant shot, this tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is created. We really created about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience was a hell of a ride.
A heck of a ride indeed. Win in a race, the Magnum PI Ferrari or the Knight Rider Cobra? Well, the Ferrari is actually a Ferrari body over a Volkswagen engine, folks. The Ferrari engine was just too loud for the Magnum PI sound department, so smart money's on the Cobra. Got some time traveling options for you. If you're interested in the DeLorean, check out the Universal Experience in the lower level of the theme park. You can get right up close. Now, these Flintstones cars are just tricked out golf carts. How'd you like to hit the links in one of those? And we can't talk about picture cars without talking about the Fast and the Furious film.
Fast and the Furious. Job rule, boy, yeah.
Now, in the Fast and the Furious films, the cars are combined with CGI and motion control technology to bring scenarios to life that would normally be impossible, as audiences embrace their greed for speed.
To Jurassic Park.
All of these sets and vehicles coming up were used in Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park films. That's the Mobile Lab from Lost Roads coming up on the left. Oh yeah, ooh, ah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming. Now, it's any consolation, that's not water. It's dinosaur saliva, and it's chock full of Yes, and actually, the dinosaurs will rise again on June 12th in Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Precipitation for Skull Island, Amity Island, and Isla Nublar. That's your forecast for today. Now here's a look at what's going on in your neck of the lot.
Now, even though Mexico's only a couple of hours away, we found it cost-effective to build our own right here on the back lot. We call this area Old Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. Recently shot down here the Showtime series Shameless. Also Nacho Libre with Jack Black. Hey, we got some rain. Looks like Al's forecast is right on the money. As you can see, rain is created by an overhead sprinkler hidden from view. We just shoot water straight up in the air and let it fall naturally like rain. The problem is when we get too much rain, it can lead to disaster in the form of flash floods. And, well, we've got one headed right for us. Mira el agua. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting in a blue seat, you may get wet on our tour today. Here's what it looks like on film. Now I'd like to welcome y'all to a little town by the name of 6 Points, Texas. Just about every famous cowboy there ever was walked these dusty streets at one time or another. They always look larger than life. Well, I reckon part of that had to do with the way we done built these sets, because if y'all look at yonder, you'll notice some of the doorways, well, they seem a mite smaller than they ought to be. That's so when our actors stood in them, why, they'd look bigger and brawnier than they actually were. We also made some doorways bigger so our damsels in distress would appear more vulnerable.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 Points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal lot.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot you.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, Fallon.
Oh, you can count on me, Fallon. Now get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Now the reason we call that 6 Points is because it has 6 points. 6 corners, and back in the day each corner had its own bank, its own saloon, and its own jail, so we could actually shoot 6 different westerns on that street at the same time. Now remember I said we'd taken audiences to the bottom of the ocean. Well, over there on your left is one of the ways we do it. That big cylindrical thing there with a staircase on the side of it is our underwater tank. It allows the director, the crew, but most importantly the camera to remain dry while they shoot the action through those hatches on the side. It's where Tom Hanks and Dan Aykroyd battle a giant snake as the hit comedy Dragnet.
I found the snake!
I recently shot in our underwater tank Ted 2 with Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane to sea level so you can look at them from the point of view of the camera. But first, a little movie magic. I saw this in a Charlton Heston movie once. Watch this. Part the water. It's the parting of the Red Sea. And only but a goodie here on the Universal Studios Tour. Now this tranquil lagoon isn't actually that tranquil. This is the original Black Lagoon from the cult classic The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's also where Norman dumped his victim in Psycho, starring Anthony Perkins.